Win as one. EA Sports FIFA 21 sponsors Saturday Social.
Now, Chunkz, I can see you're already looking pretty down in the dumps, but I don't want to dig you out too much. But obviously, it has been a terrible week for Arsenal, losing 2-1 on aggregate to Villarreal, not being able to get that home goal that was needed, only one shot on target in the match. And it also came against Unai Emery. Villarreal very quick to point out on Twitter, weren't they, that it was a bit of an Unai Emery masterclass, they claimed. Good evening, obviously in reference to his classic interviews, 38,000 likes. Chunkz, let's get your reaction to the Villarreal tweet and the game as a whole.
Tweet, I don't appreciate it. I think it's tasteful. I mean, there's no tasteful. And I'm just very upset, to be honest. If you're meant to be honest, when I was sitting down watching that game, I genuinely expected, I was like, we haven't had a great season so far, but we'll beat Villarreal, get to the final, and obviously anything can happen in the final. We're pretty comfortable with Man United when it comes to results this season. So I thought, you know what, we can nick one and get a European Cup and you know what I mean, come back in the Champions League. But we couldn't even pass Villarreal. I'm like watching the game, it looked like we were ahead and we were comfortable with the 0-0 result. No urgency, like you said, a one shot on target. It was just a bad game and a bad season altogether for Arsenal. The worst one I've seen, man. No European football for the first time in 25 years. I'm 25 years old, bro. So you know what I mean. This is foreign to me.
Wow.
Hurts. It does hurt. I'll be honest with you. And obviously, I just have to accept that Arsenal's not the same Arsenal I once knew. And there you go. And I just want to give a shout out to Arsene Wenger as well, because the fact that he managed to get worst teams in the Champions League year after year, it's just it shows that he was just a level above all, man. And let's see what happens next season. I just want to start because I'm bored of this season.
Wow. Yeah, okay. I get that sense from a lot of Arsenal fans. It has to be said. I get the sense from a lot of Arsenal fans that they're very keen for this season to be over. Carl, just very quickly, obviously, like Chunkz said, struggled to even win 1-0 against Villarreal at home. What were your thoughts on the game?
Well, I chose to watch that one over the Manchester United game because I thought United have got this wrapped up. And then I decided to watch the Arsenal game and I thought, what has actually happened to Arsenal Football Club? Growing up as a football fan, you watched them, you watched how dominant they were, how prevalent they were in Europe as well. Like Chunkz said, Arsene Wenger getting worse teams into the Champions League. And I was watching them thinking, I don't actually believe they're going to score. They had a couple of chances where it looked like they came close. But some of those players, you think, it's just not working for them. And who am I to judge a professional footballer and say that they weren't giving their all or that they weren't trying hard? They were. Of course they were, but it just wasn't working for them. And I just watched it thinking, it's not going to happen. It's not actually going to. And I dreamed of an all-English European finals, obviously Man City, Chelsea, then Manchester United. And I thought Arsenal are going to be the only team that let us all down. And it was true. I put it up before the game. I put it on my socials and everyone was like, oh, no, don't be like that. It's harsh. It's not harsh at all. Look at Arsenal. Look at where they are in the league as well. Something isn't working at that club, and I'm not sure what it is. They don't seem to be doing it on the pitch. They've got issues off the pitch. The fans aren't happy as well. And I don't know what's next. I don't know how they climb back into being a top 4 team because they're not one right now. Let's be completely honest.
Chunkz, you'll be delighted to know we've still got a lot more time left. We're usually overrunning at this point. We've got a lot more time left to talk Arsenal. I want to talk to you about the fans' reaction because a lot was trending on Twitter. A lot of the players' manager, the reaction on Twitter was quite for all of us to see, including Troops who tweeted this. He was one of many Arsenal fans who took to Twitter. Now, this is quite strong words from Troops, who just says he better not leave the stadium. That stadium with a job, hashtag Arteta out. Now, I had a long look on social media and it seems to be a lot of this sort of discomfort was directed towards Arteta rather than the players. A lot of Arsenal fans are talking about the system and the substitutions. Where do you stand on Arteta? Are you Arteta in or are you Arteta out?
I'm Arteta I'm sitting on the fence because, you know what I mean, I need to be careful of what I say. But what I'm going to say is... obviously he's had a bad season, but the reason he's been appointed is obviously due to it's like a long-term success thing, of course, because you're not going to get Arteta in for quick results because if that was the case, he would have got an experienced manager, you know what I mean? So I feel like what they're trying to do, what Chelsea thought they were doing with Frank Lampard and just trying to ride it out and see how well he can do throughout the next 3-4 seasons. Obviously, it's been a dreadful season. We all know that, but yeah, I'm not Arteta out just yet in terms of what we're trying to achieve with Arteta. Like, if we wanted him for quick results, and obviously he wouldn't have a job right now. So, like, we have to realize that that appointment was for different reasons. I feel like, and I don't understand why people want quick fix anyway. We haven't been a team fighting for like the league for how many years anyway. So what do you want to achieve? Do you know what I mean? Like, we get into the Champions League every year, but we just end up losing in the round of 16. So it's kind of like, what? We don't even get out of the group sometimes. So it's just a bit weird, man.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, to be fair. Kyle, obviously, Mikel Arteta was Pep's number 2 for a while. I interviewed Mikel at the start of the season. I've got to say, lovely, lovely guy. Speak very highly of him. I thought he was a great guy. But he gave me a really interesting answer about Pep Guardiola, who said he was the best manager in the world. He answered it so quickly and went on to say how much he'd learned from being Pep's number 2. Do you feel like he's trying to implement a system that Pep does? We've seen Arsenal sometimes use a false 9. We've seen them try and play out from the back, and sometimes that hasn't worked and led to goals. Do you feel like he's trying to play almost like a Pep Guardiola brand of football, but doesn't maybe have the players to do that? Do you see that in this Arsenal team?
I think a lot of teams actually try and implement a Pep-style way of football, which we've seen, and they've not got the players to do that, playing out from the back and the false 9, as you said there as well. And obviously, Mikel Arteta, he was very, very close to that Manchester City team. And it must be slightly frustrating for him because he's got all of these ideas. We heard how great he is working one-to-one and coaching the players that at Manchester City. And we've heard things this week talking about the work that he's done with the Arsenal players as well. Don't get me wrong, I think in training, he's trying lots of different things and he's probably seeing them come out and then work, but they're not working, they're not transferring onto the pitch. So it must be slightly frustrating for him because he must have all of these ideas. I think he could go on to be a very, very great manager, but he needs the time, he needs the players, he needs the resources as well. And he's not getting that at Arsenal. I think it's very easy to look at all of what he's done, but actually there's more bigger issues at Arsenal.
Yeah, there's a lot more issues at Arsenal behind the scenes as well. And Chunkz, just wanted to bring you in on that, really. What are your thoughts on everything that's kind of going on behind the scenes? Because it's not just Mikel Arteta, is it? There's a lot of issues at Arsenal going on.
Yeah, obviously everyone's talking about the board situation and stuff. Obviously, we're never going to know what's actually happening. So that's why I just prefer not to comment on it. Like when people say, oh, get whoever's out, like what's going on? So... yeah, I'll be real because I don't know much about what's going on. I'm just trying to stay quiet and see what happens. Obviously, I would love for that takeover to happen because it brings the identity back with, like, obviously Daniel Ozet and Henry and Vieira and Bergkamp. But honestly, yeah, I'm done with this season. I'm gonna just carry on supporting the man. So Mason Mount, you got in the finals. Ben Chilwell, congratulations. You know what I mean? Not reaching the final, so well done, man. I'll be watching that final, and I feel like I'm involved. That's the way I'm involved because I know people that are playing in the final, not my team anymore. It's ridiculous.
Chunkz has turned into a Chelsea fan because he knows the players now. Chunkz is now sticking the Chelsea shirt on.
I support. You know what it is? I support the players. I don't support the team.
There we go.
Chunkz is going to be like Eden Hazard. Chunkz will be Hazard on the pitch.
Chunkz, it's good to see you smiling again because that was a tough 8 minutes, but Chunkz is smiling again, so we're all happy about that.